So the Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently put out these photographs of himself snorkeling off the coast of Lakshadweep. Also photographs of him sitting pensively on the beach and staring into the horizon on what is a very pristine beach in Lakshadweep. Now here's the thing. This is not a randomly selected holiday destination for the Prime Minister. We know the Prime Minister doesn't like to take holidays. There's obviously some messaging here. So what's really going on? Here are some answers. To understand this, quick look at Lakshadweep in general and a background. It's a collection of 36 islands off the coast of Kerala. Only 10 of them are actually inhabited by people. The rest are untouched completely. Now, the Lakshadweep Islands have 97% forest cover, and they're ecologically very sensitive. They're very small islands. The largest is about 4.5 kilometers wide, and they're about 3 meters above sea level, which makes them really sensitive. There's a coral formation that needs protection, and of course, like I said, 97% forest cover that needs protection as well, apart from which Lakshadweep is home to a lot of tribal, indigenous people who are protected by the government. Now, of their population of about 64,000, a little over 64,000 people, nearly 94% are tribal people. Now, that's the history of Lakshadweep. What are the plans the government has? Now, since 2019, the central government has been talking about a holistic development that was first mentioned by the Niti Aayog of the islands of Lakshadweep to develop it into an international tourist spot on the lines of Maldives. So to build those large-scale sort of beach luxury villas, the sea villas that are standing in the water, and to create basically a mirror Maldives in Lakshadweep. The local administration, headed by Praful Koda Patel, who is a BJP leader, invited international bids for 370 beach villas, of floating villas, at a total cost of 800 crore rupees in 2021. This came under a lot of criticism from environmentalists. Ecological experts have cautioned the fact that any tourism project that is built here will be drilling through the coral rocks and will cause irreparable damage, and will also be in violation of coastal regulations. Experts have already warned that these islands are very vulnerable to climate change, and any construction here will obviously create even bigger problems. Now, during his recent visit, the Prime Minister has launched 1,156 crore rupees worth of infrastructure, tourism and sustainable development on the islands of Lakshadweep. He also talked about the fact this could be an internationally desirable tourist spot. So here's the question, right? Every time we talk about someone visiting the islands, they're always going to Andamans and not to Lakshadweep. Why has that been? Why has Lakshadweep not been a tourist destination up till now? I'll tell you why. Tourism began in 1994 in Lakshadweep, but it's only been in one island, and that's the dedicated island of Bangaram, which is uninhabited. There are no local people there, and so there are only a couple of resorts that are allowed there. You're not allowed to visit any of the other islands. You need a special permit. Visitors are not allowed to visit islands specifically where there are certain indigenous population. The rest is out of bounds to protect the forest, to protect the population, and of course because there is a sensitive naval base in Lakshadweep as well. In fact, until Patel came along recently, consumption of alcohol was completely banned in all of the islands except the one in which the tourists are allowed. Less than 7% of the people on the island consume alcohol at all, but there's a plan now to liberalize the sale of alcohol across the island. There's another angle to this, and this is why this is crucial. Remember, the Maldives government, the Maldives people have now elected a new president, Mohammad Mizu, and he has taken an anti-India stand and asked the Indian army and the Indian people, the Indian government that had a presence in the island, to leave because he's considered to be more pro-China. Now, this push for tourism in Lakshadweep comes also perhaps as a crucial diplomatic move by the Indian government, saying that we will start our own competing tourism. Remember, Maldives is an almost entirely tourism-heavy economy, depending largely on tourism to function. But unlike Maldives, and if we're talking about that competition, Lakshadweep, like I said, is 36 small islands, whereas Maldives has over 1,190 islands, and 1,000 of them are uninhabited, and so there's space in Maldives for a lot more tourism. It has a lower population density, which means fewer people and more islands to build on. So really the question is about the ecological sensitivity of Lakshadweep vis-a-vis the government's big plans to build tourism. So these photographs that you're looking at are sending out key messages right now about development, about the people of India who might want to visit Lakshadweep because it looks absolutely beautiful, but also perhaps to the government of Maldives and China.